And I know, and everybody here in Columbus well aware of your golf exploits, you had to be really excited to see the great Jack Nicklaus drop the puck to officially start the season for the Jackets.
Well, what a way to go. You know, here you are in the city of Columbus. You have one of the greatest exhibitions of all time with the President's Cup. He takes time out of his, busy schedule to come in and be part of our organization.
The President's Cup underway at Deerfield right now. But there was Jack Nicklaus, and there is the Vezina Trophy winner. And the first All-Star team goaltender, Sergei Bobrovsky, fifth in goals against average with a 2.00 goals against average, second in save percentage, tied for second in shutouts. And at the opposite end, Joey McDonald making his first start of the season, 5-1-1 against the Blue Jackets in his career with a 2.21 goals against average. Our officials tonight, Frederick Lequier, Kevin Pollock, Scott Cherry, Matt McPherson, and the linesman. The Flames, who lost last night despite 3-0 at 4-1 leads, losing in a shootout, wearing the traveling whites, the Jackets in their home jerseys. We are underway, and tonight's telecast presented in high definition by Time Warner Cable. Jackets dump the puck deep into Calgary territory. Along the wall, Boone Jenner in pursuit. Up along the far side, his first shift in the National Hockey League. Boone Jenner with some 25 to 30 friends and family in attendance here. He has earned a job. And to quote one of his teammates in Oshawa last season, his nickname, the Generator. That will be a catchphrase. There's Gabrick. On to Dubinsky. Away from Brody. Slides it behind the net. Giordano, newly named captain, jersey number 5, replacing the legendary Jerome McGinley, who's now a member of the Boston Bruins. A left wing pass at center, swept into the zone by Colburn, making his Flames debut. Hitler with a shot. Hoodler denied by Bobrovsky. Thrown into the high slot. Flames started quickly last night in Washington, scoring 3 first-period goals. As I mentioned, they led 4-1, 7 minutes into the second. But back came Ovechkin and the Capitals. Up high. It's thrown to the right wing by the former Jacket, Chris Russell, wearing jersey number 4. Jackets slow the play down as Gabrick dumps it behind for Dalton Prout. And what a great season he had for the Jackets in his rookie year. Flames. The outlet pass in the left wing, and the former Red Wing Hoodler now. A centering feed looking for Backlund. It sailed to the right wing boards. Gagliardi in pursuit, but the Jackets will quickly move it up ice. Down that right side goes Atkinson as he takes the Nikitin pass and is shoveled off into the corner. Here's Atkinson, circles the net. A shot by Nikitin. McDonald the stop. Rebound. The Jackets pounce on it quickly. Calvert now. What a fine finish he had for the Jackets last April. Anisimov tries to play it off the wall. Savard steps up, given an opportunity to play in the absence of Fedor Tutin, who last season played the entire season, the year before all 80, and he will not play likely this weekend. Out with a lower body injury. Backlund now settles it down, sends it off the wall. It's chipped ahead, and play is called. Well, Bill, how about tonight's Toyota Keys, presented by your Central Ohio Toyota dealer?
Well, in talking with the coaching staff this morning, the number one thing, control the emotions. Everybody's got to keep the focus, especially early in the game. Expect it to be fast. It's going to be physical. Prepare for the tempo, and that has to rise upon your own accord. Make it happen. And then it should be a 4-line game. The Jackets' depth, take advantage. Mark Letestu reattested that. You've got to be able to come out 35-second shifts and make it go.
Shot for the right wing, save, rebound, and the Flames score quickly. Monahan with his first NHL goal. 18 years old, one of the youngest players in the National Hockey League. A top draft pick last June. And last night, assisted on the first goal, comes through with a rebound, and the Flames lead 1-0.
Well, the young man knows a little bit about scoring. Notice the push. It defensively looks like things are all matched up, except the rebound down in front of the net. The one thing you have to do as a defenseman, make sure you get the stick. Look at Wisniewski. He's got the body, but Monahan, the big body, gets a stick on it, finds the back of the net. The Calgary Flames have taken a 1-0 lead.
Sean Monahan, somewhat of a questionable starter after taking a puck off the ankle in the morning skate. But he plays and picks up his second NHL point. The former captain of the Oshawa Generals, as I mentioned, all of 18 years of age.
Yeah, 18 years old, 6th overall pick in this last year's draft. and he has come in, and certainly the eyebrows have been raised. And Bob Hartley, he's one coach. You're not going to play unless you show something in the preseason, and Monahan was able to do that. And there's a look at Bob Hartley again coming back. He was a year in Switzerland. He coached the last 48 games last year, and right now in his second year, this guy knows a little bit about winning. And Jeff, you go back to Colorado and what he was able to accomplish there. He'd like to replicate that here with the Flames.
Stepniak draws an assist, as does second assist to Baertschi, all of 20 years of age. And if you are aware of the Flames change with a new president of hockey operations, the former general manager of the Toronto Maple Leafs, as well as the president, we speak of Brian Burke, far from pleased with Baertschi's performance during the preseason. Shot by Foligno right on. McDonald makes that stop. Baertschi draws the second assist, first assist to Stepniak, who led the Flames last night in Washington with 8 shots on goal. Left wing R.J. Umberger drops a pass for Jack Johnson, ripped wide of the net. You've got to wonder about the butterflies early on in this hockey club, something that Coach Richard Spill feared coming in.
Yeah, he knew that. And again, especially this team had a chance to play in Washington last night against a team. They felt that they were prepared, but down 3-0, 4-1, they found a way, the Washington Capitals, to come back and win that game in a shootout.
Brody backhands a pass for Giordano, which will force the Flames back into their own zone. Approaching the 4-minute mark. Flames strike quickly at 2:27. If you've just joined us, Sean Monahan, the rookie, playing his second NHL game, assisted by Stepniak and Baertschi. Stepping up there is Prout. His pass for Gabrick picked off by Gagliardi and tossed back into Jackets territory. Flames change up on the fly as Prout dumps to the open corner, bounces wide of the net. Boone Jenner is hammered, and there'll be a penalty there for interference. The Jackets will get the first power play. Flames gave up 2 power play goals last night in 3 Washington advantages.
Well, let's take a look at that penalty. You see Jenner getting a good position on O'Brien, the defenseman. He kept the legs going, and you can see O'Brien just lean the shoulder in. Jenner, he loses all 4 edges. So a minor penalty in the Jackets. They'll go on the first power play of the game.
Jackets, if there's an area the team must improve, it is on the power play. Columbus 28th of 30 in the league. Last season, 22 for 155, 14.2%. They were 4 for 34 in the preseason. And the puck ripped wide of the net there by Nikitin. Calgary on the penalty kill. Finished the season 14th in the league. Top half at 81.5%. Shorthanded. Carried by the Flames into Jackets territory. The former Blue Jacket, Glenn Cross in pursuit. Jersey number 20. Ryan Johansson had the stick knocked out of his hands. No penalty call. Giordano now steps up to center. Looks rink wide. Carried in by Gagliardi. Stepping away from Letesten. Puck in the corner. Nikitin able to make the play behind the net, forcing Gagliardi to cough up that loose puck. Approaching the 5-minute mark. 1 minute, 20 seconds left on the power play. Nikitin. Left wing feed for Nowitzki, who had a superb preseason. Led the Jackets in points. A shot towards the net, blocked, and then Backlund will steer it on the backhand back into Columbus territory.
Well, something the Jackets have been doing through their preseason every day. It's a little bit of power play. They work on the entries, and then once into the zone, watch the quickness. They want to increase the tempo as that game goes on in that offensive zone.
With speed, Anisimov gets into the zone. Gabrick now dishes. He actually tied with Dubinsky in power play points, or rather preseason points, with 7. Gabrick last season tied in game-winning goals with 5 in the abbreviated season. Wisniewski settles it down. Wisniewski led the Jackets with 4 power play goals last year. He has that cannon from the point, and the Jackets will attempt to feed him. Right-handed shot now on the left point. Sends it ahead. Jackets in the waning seconds of their first power play. Jack Johnson, he shoots and scores. Power play goal.
One of the things that the Jackets did throughout the course of last week was get into the zone with speed. And you can see they get the speed, they get the puck deep, and then quickly move that puck from low to high, and then finding a seam. What a pass by Gaborik to find Jack Johnson on the back door, and Jack Johnson wasted no time in beating the goaltender. But the Jackets' movement, that was the key on that goal to tie it at 1.
A picture-perfect pass by Marian Gaborik. And the Jackets, with the power play goal, have quickly tied it up. This place is electric. A sellout crowd. Anticipation of an exciting season of Blue Jackets hockey. And we are just underway. Nicholas, who dropped the ceremonial first puck here to start this season, significantly, wearing jersey number 18, matching his career wins in majors. He's standing by right now with our Dave Betzel.
Jack, you have won golf tournaments all over the world. You've dotted the I at Ohio State, but you've never dropped a puck. What was that like for you?
Well, it was different. I'm figuring out, what do you do? You know, I don't know. I've never seen it done, so I don't know what to do. But they guided me through it quite easily. I think I dropped it onto the ice right where you're supposed to.
Good job, as you did with a lot of golf shots over the years. Jack, your President's Cup is going on. We've got this big sporting event here. What does that say about your hometown in terms of the kinds of things that are going on here?
Columbus, a great sports town. They support everything. You know, they support Ohio State football. They support the Blue Jackets. They support the golf tournament. They do everything. And, you know, the basketball team, everything's supported very well. And here, I mean, we've got a fantastic crowd at Muirfield. You've got a fantastic crowd here tonight. And, you know, it's a real honor and privilege to be here tonight, to be part of it. I don't know enough about hockey, but I'm a sports junkie. And, you know, I love sports, and whatever sport is going on, I like to see it.
Well, Jack, we really appreciate you sharing this night with us, and hopefully we'll see more Blue Jackets games as the season goes on.
I hope so, too. I'd like to see that.
Thank you very much. Guys, back up to you.
I understand there are a few of the members at Muirfield Village spent some time showing Jack exactly how to drop that puck. And he stayed within his limits, Jeff. He did it his way.
Well, great to have him on head here for this one with an offside. Incidentally, the goal, Johnson from Gaborik and Wisniewski. Gaborik, incidentally, as you got to look there at Boone Jenner, 339 career assists with that assist. And what a beauty it was. 675 career points.
Now, Boone Jenner, you're going to hear a lot. And did I hear a nickname? It is now the Generator.
That's right. His teammate in Oshawa wishing Jenner the best of luck here tonight. And as he suggested, he's affectionately referred to as the Generator. And that will stick, let me tell you.
Well, I remember the Wizard came out of one's mouth of Jeff Rimmer, and that has stuck.
Thrown behind the net. Over the stick of Como. Wisniewski steps up. Shot by Letestu. Turned aside by McDonald. A pass to Wisniewski. He'll let it go. Throws it into the slot. Trickles to the net. And shot wide there by Como, the former Calgary Flame. Long lead pass. Picked off. Gagliardi moves in, shoots and scores with a backhand. And the Flames have regained the lead on a turnover.
The Calgary Flames take advantage of a turnover in that offensive zone. It's the young Ryan Murray trying to utilize his defenseman James Wisniewski. And Gagliardi, he gets a step. Boy, this guy can finish, and he makes a beautiful move on Bobrovsky. Goes high up over top of the glove. But with his speed, that's what creates it. It's one quick move, forehand to backhand up top. But again, a turnover inside that offensive blue line. That started it all.
Gagliardi picks up his first point and first goal of the young campaign. And the former Avalanche has restored the Calgary lead at 2-1. Colburn takes the draw. Puck chopped back into the zone by David Jones. Glencross rifles in. Far side of the ice, Jenner trying to trap that puck. Dubinsky pursues. Colburn trying to edge a backhand ahead. Chris Russell back to retrieve. Unassisted goal by Gagliardi as he takes advantage of the Blue Jackets' miscue. Russell steps out of his own zone, looks up the left wing board, swept ahead there by Glencross. Prout will get there ahead of Colburn. Right point, looking to the left side. Glenn Cross centers, chopped in front. Bobrovsky down. Jackets come up with it. The outlet pass here for Jenner late in the shift. Jenner rifles one wide of the net. Goes right back after it. First forward on the forecheck. Gets some help now from Dubinsky. Along the wall. Dubinsky fights off Glenn Cross. Centers it in front. Russell with a nice defensive play there. The Alberta native back home in Calgary. Last season, of course, a member of the St. Louis Blues. And now, one of the few Alberta natives playing for the hometown team.
Well, he's exactly what this team needs. You have an offensive defenseman like Giordano. Chris Russell can come in and do the same type of a job.
Monahan dishes. Berchi, right wing feed. Puck sent wide of the net. First back there is David Savard. Savard had an outstanding camp. Deservedly gets into the lineup with the absence of Tootin, in the words of Coach Todd Richards. Atkinson rink wide. Calvert in full stride, and O'Brien is able to steer it off into the corner. Left wing, Berchi. Can't settle that bouncing puck. Approaching the midway point. Again, this crowd encouraging the Jackets. Shots are even at 7-7. Flames just taking the lead on the Gagliardi unassisted goal. McKenzie back in his own zone. Ryan Murray not missing the shift despite the mistake. R.J. Umberger and the Jackets trail. 9:48 left. Stay with us. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio. Brought to you by IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. By Nationwide. Nationwide is on your side. Find a local agent on Nationwide.com. By your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Visit buyatoyota.com. Toyota, let's go places. And by Huntington. At Huntington, you can bank like a real fan. Get your Blue Jackets debit card at BlueJacketsBanking.com. Face off in Columbus territory. Scramble in front. Down is Bobrovsky, and play whistled out.
Well, the emotion certainly, they are right on the tips of the fingers of the players right now. You look down the bench, guys are talking, they're communicating. It's nervous energy right now. Let's take a look in that last play from the draw. We've talked about face-offs in the past. This year, it's a main objective of this hockey team to better their face-off department. Last year, they moved from basically 20th up into the top 10 before the end of the year. That is something that is on the minds of all centermen now.
9:41 as play gets underway, remaining in this opening period. Russell dangerously passes in front of his own net. Quickly on that puck is Derek McKenzie. One of the Jackets' premier forecheckers, without question. And whatever role he plays, he makes the best of it.
And how about that line, Jeff? You've got McKenzie. You have a guy like Foligno and the size and the body of Umberger.
Umberger on the turnover, forcing it. McKenzie looks for the trailer. Jack Johnson drills it. And out to cut off the angle there was the goaltender, McDonald.
What a play by Backlund. He donated his body. As he went down, he might have got a piece of that.
Here's Johnson. On to Anisimov. Artem Anisimov across the line, and play is called. All right, let's check out tonight's Elk and Elk injury report. Bill?
Well, you look at Camilleri, Breen on the one side, but then Nathan Horton. Hopefully will be back around December. Cody Bass out with a hand. Jared Ball, Fedor-Tootin, Ball back skating with the team. Fedor-Tootin out for the weekend. Hopefully will return to practice early next week.
Now the word on Jared Ball is, should he not have a setback, he will likely make his season debut in Buffalo next Thursday. And perhaps that might be when we see the return of Fedor-Tootin, who is certainly an integral part of this hockey club. Right wing feed. Shot for the right wing by David Jones. Kept in by Butler. Headmans to Jones. Anisimov steps into him, forces a turnover. Here's Como. The rifles it off deep into Calgary territory. O'Brien out-muscled for that puck by Letestu. Butler picks it up. Play is called, and we're going to get a penalty here.
Yeah, you can see Frederic Lecoyer making the call. And on his way to the penalty box, Joe Colborne coming over from the Toronto Maple Leafs. Former #1 pick of the Boston Bruins. He's getting his first taste.
Number 8, Calgary, 2 minutes for boarding.
Boarding is the call.
You'll see, in tight, Como standing still, and even a little late. That could be interference, boarding, whatever you like. Como's okay, he's up, Colborne to the box, and the Jackets 1 for 1 in their power play.
And again, an area that this team has focused on throughout training camp, paying particular attention to detail over the last week since concluding their preseason schedule. Does practice make for success? McDonald goes down with an Anisimov draped all over him. Quick shot by Anisimov on the short side. Swept up, but not out by Weidman. Atkinson chips it back to Gabrick. Wisniewski on that right point. Jack Johnson waits patiently, takes it top of the circle. Moves down that right side. A centering feed, backhanded, just wide of the net by Gabrick. Jackets feed to Wisniewski. On to Gabrick. Wisniewski drills it, and that's deflected off a flame in front and off the net.
One thing with a good power play you have to have, first of all, you got to have a guy that can shoot the puck, but then you've got to be able to make that pass onto the tape. And if you can make those passes quickly and in a position where guys can one-time it without having to stop it, you're so much further ahead. And this is one guy right here that can shoot the puck as well as anybody in the National Hockey League, in James Wisniewski.
Dubinsky on with Calvert and Ryan Johansson up front. Nick Keaton paired on the point with Letestu. Second power play unit for the Jackets. They've got 1:15 left. They scored late in their previous power play. Dubinsky drops it back for Nikitin. Looks for that seam, cross ice, and went off his skate. And stepping up again is Dubinsky. Slides it back to the point. Deflected high. Nikitin's got to regroup. Dishes to Dubinsky on the right side. Sent wide. Far side, that's Brody. Chip behind the net, swept to the right wing boards. Brody finds Jones. He finds a lane and sends it right in on Bobrovsky. Less than 7 minutes left. Shots even at 8. Flames lead 2-1. A steal here for Glenn Cross. Drop pass. Giordano steps up. Glenn Cross and sliding across and making the stop. Bobrovsky forcing a face-off in Columbus territory to the Flames.
Well, the one thing the Flames do, people had a chance to watch the game last night between Washington and the Flames. The Flames will keep coming at you in the penalty kill. You can see in the offensive zone, they'll even send, you can see it, 3 guys below the tops of the circles. They're thinking creating offense off of that penalty kill.
That Jack Johnson power play goal, incidentally, as I mentioned, coming late in the power play. It also came on the only shot the Jackets generated at the Calgary net. Curtis Glencross will take the face-off, and Anisimov battles him. Sweeps it behind the net for Wisniewski. Down to the final 20 seconds. Pressure coming from Glencross. Sends it back. Anisimov tried to get a stick on it as Giordano dumps it deep. It'll be played by the Flames in Columbus territory. Johnson all over Stepniak. Down to 2-1. Outsteps Colborne. Flames have killed it off. They've allowed 3 power play goals on 5 opposition opportunities in the young NHL season. Johnson. Backhands for Atkinson. That pass a little high. Atkinson follows it up. Drops the pass. Foligno! Well, a wrist shot that's gloved by McDonald and held. 5:54 left. Opening period from Nationwide. Opening night.
Welcome back to Nationwide. Flames lead this one 2-1 with Craig Hartsburg. Craig, opening night is all about managing emotions. Do you like what you see here in terms of these guys being on the right keel?
Well, I think at times we're a little nervous, especially with the puck. You see some turnovers that really is not part of our game. But again, I think we're getting into the flow of the game. A big power play goal, I think, was a big help for us early.
Thanks, Coach.
That's where the first 20 minutes of any hockey game, and especially to kick off your season premiere here at home, you do have the nerves. They are going to be there, and you've got to find a way through quick shifts as well as good puck management to get through it.
And when Craig Hartsburg says that's not our game with the giveaways, the Blue Jackets last season had the fewest giveaways, or turnovers if you prefer, in the entire National Hockey League, all of 214.
It gives a credit to the defense and the job that they do, especially if they want to play an up-tempo type game. That's exactly where it starts.
Nikitin holds off Glencross. Flames pursue the puck. Jackets able to clear. Foligno steers ahead to Umberger. Umberger a centering feed. And unable to redirect it there was McKenzie. Darting to the net. Umberger works down low. Foligno sends it up high. Savard cross ice. Nikitin redirected. McDonald very sharp there. Able to turn that deflection aside. Foligno battles along the wall. Flames able to clear the zone. Foligno continues to pursue that puck. Nikitin as both teams change up. Rifles it high and wide. Less than 5 minutes left.
Good to see Nikitin back on the ice. Had a few problems in training camp. He is back. He's healthy. And boy, I'll tell you what, with Tootin out, you need this guy to perform.
Here's Como, the former Flame. Big rebound. Following it up, shoots and scores. Jackets have tied it up. Dubinsky following the big rebound and drives it home.
Let's take a look at that puck coming up the ice. And you can see the line change by Calgary. Look at the guys coming across. That allows the Jackets the speed to come through the neutral zone. And then, Jeff, you said it. Again, Dubinsky gets a shot. He follows it up. Watch him knock it out of the air right there and into the back of the net. The Jackets have tied this game at 2, taking advantage of that line change. In fact, it is going to be Gaborik, not Dubinsky, who scores that goal. It appeared to me, I thought Dubinsky had knocked it out of the air. It is Gaborik in the right place at the right time.
Gaborik, should he get credit? It'll be his first of the year, but it was Dubinsky following the play to the net that created that scoring opportunity. And Marian Gaborik, who has promised a big year for the Jackets, gets his first goal of the season.
Well, the Jackets took advantage, and that was the key. Get up ice as quickly as you can. And when they were able to do that, it was all Dubinsky. A good center drive to the net, and Gaborik found himself off of that stick side post.
Como will draw the second assist. Dubinsky the primary assist. And Como, who last season at Calgary prior to the trade led the Flames in hits with 72. When he was dealt here to Columbus, earned another year's contract, and is very happy, and a proud new father at that. His wife giving birth just last week. Como heels it behind the net. Dubinsky, what a training camp he had. Como to the net, trying to steer it wide. Up high, Dalton Prout, give him some credit. He started the play for the Jackets up ice on the tying goal. Gaborik with a shot, high and wide. The Jackets are all over the Flames right now. Como drilled along the wall. There's Gaborik. Keeps the puck away. The crowd igniting the Jackets. This place has been electric since the opening faceoff.
Well, the Jackets have shown a little bit of resolve. Calgary comes out, utilizes speed, takes advantage. But the Jackets coming back twice to tie the game.
And just a reminder, as you enjoy a cold one, to look forward to Miller Time later in tonight's game, brought to you by Miller Lite.
Well, he had a busy week, Marian Gaborik. The passing of his grandmother back in Slovakia. He made the trip back. I chatted with him this morning and said he did have a chance to say his goodbyes this summer, but in the last 10 days she went ill. He is playing for her tonight.
Up on that left wing, Boone Jenner. Jenner fights through the check, and McDonald forced to make a stop. McGrattan unable to clear the zone. Jack Johnson, who scored the first goal of the power play, rips it wide of the net. Letestu dumps to the corner. Flames in pursuit. Attempt to clear. Second effort. They do just that. And the puck steered into the corner. Buma in pursuit. Play is called. And a penalty upcoming. Jack Johnson being ushered to the penalty box.
Number 7, Columbus, 2 minutes clipping.
Well, you don't hear that very often. You'll hear tripping. But in this scenario, clipping. Basically, a nice, well, looks like a pretty good hip check right there. Boy, I'll tell you, I don't know. I don't think he went down that low, and that's the key position. Does he go and take his waist below 90 degrees? I thought that was a pretty good open ice hit with the hip.
So, the Flames, 9th in power play efficiency last season. 31 goals, 20%. That's when they had the likes of Bouwmeester and Iginla. Jackets on the penalty kill in the top half of the league, 11th at 82.6% in penalty killing proficiency. Centering feed, Jackets able to knock it away. Derek McKenzie. One of the premier Blue Jacket penalty killers, and he quickly heads off for a well-deserved rest. Russell deals it on that right wing. Lumbering in, Jones. Savard defending, able to come up with that puck before it's steered to the near corner. Russell looking, deals off that backboard. Savard is there again. Sweeps a backhand away from Glencross. Bouncing puck in that right circle. Savard fights it off again. Great work. Tenacious checking by Savard in front of Bobrovsky. Weidman waits for it. Sent to the left point. Russell for Glencross. Back to Weidman. He's got the big shot. Turned aside. The right pad of Bobrovsky. Russell sweeps ahead. Glencross had it knocked away. Jones dishes. Centered off the side of the net. Down is Bobrovsky. Able to shut the door. 1:22 left. 42 seconds of the power play. Flames moving it around effectively. Weidman shot on that wristman. Sails wide. Glencross camped at the side of the net, redirected it, but it was off the mark, and the Jackets will clear.
Well, the Jackets have to do a better job. You have that puck in your defensive zone. You have an opportunity to get it out twice. Brandon Dubinsky was in a position to utilize the boards. The Calgary Flames able to come up with a puck.
Here's Giordano. Carries it to the zone. Final minute of play. Down to 13 seconds of power play time. And again, the Jackets are cleared.
Well, you get the crowd involved with less than a minute to go in period number 1. It's one thing you want to do. Stop the opposition from finding the back of the net.
Giordano in pursuit. Jackets play it. Wisniewski. Kick to the corner and Stepniak's on it. He's Stepniak. Up high, Giordano. And that one wristed wide. Anisimov will play it. Outlet pass for R.J. Umberger. Going down there is Brody. Little embellishment, I'd suggest. Wisniewski. Backhands. Umberger chips it off the wall. That's Weidman. Butler. Hit along the boards there by Como. Outlet pass at the left wing. Steered away from Prout. As Buma and Prout come together, and the fans stand as one. An exciting first period of Blue Jackets hockey here on opening night. And here on Fox Sports Ohio at the end of one period. Calgary and Columbus dead even at 2. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Dairy Queen. What you're watching is served up by DQ, the home of fan food, not fast food. By Ohio Health, the official healthcare provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. And by Buffalo Wild Wings. Join us at Buffalo Wild Wings in Grandview Thursday, October 10th for the first CBJ social media watch party and have a chance to win some great prizes. Teams have returned to the ice, set for second period play. The teams have traded ends, and the second period finds Dubinsky sailing into Calgary territory. Dubinsky fights off a couple of the Flames. Shot by Prout towards the net. It's blocked by Calgary and cleared. The outlet pass knocked down by Prout. Dalton Prout on to Dubinsky. The best thing for Prout, who had abdominal surgery, was the ability to play in a couple of preseason games late. And he is 100%. for the start of the season. And what a rookie year he had after being recalled from Springfield.
Well, he's one young, proud man. You know, he's the only player out of Kingsville, Ontario, ever to play in the National Hockey League. And I know his grandfather would be awfully proud of him.
And why not? Big, strong, plays well both ends. As a lot of people suggest, an old-time hockey player. And indeed, here's Hoodler moving in. Dishes a backhand that the Jackets break up. Atkinson on the defensive play. Loose puck scooped up by Ryan Johansson. Big things expected by this young man who continues to fill out that body. A former first-round pick. He too with a fine spring. And now, after the preseason, expected big things as he centers the second line, the kid line with Calvert and Atkinson, and the three deep into Calgary territory. Think back to last spring and look at Johansson with the steal there. Coming of age, and now a full season to perhaps reach that maturity. Other IGS Energy performer from the opening period of play picked up a goal and an assist. None other than Marian Gaborik, who led the Jackets in points with 7 during the preseason. 6th in game-winning goals with 5.
Well, he was in great position on the power play to find Jack Johnson on the back door, and tell you what, it was a beautiful pass.
Boone Jenner played it off the backboard and didn't miss by much as McDonald saw that puck scoot out in front in a hurry off the original shot by Wisniewski. Jenner continues to pursue that puck. First on the forecheck. Jenner, who earned a spot with a superb training camp and preseason. He excelled at rookie camp in Traverse City and continued his fine play here with the Jackets in the preseason games and during practice. Shot there by the other rookie, Ryan Murray, and it was deflected just wide.
Well, you see Boone Jenner being moved down, and again, they're looking for a little bit of chemistry. He had been playing with Dubinsky and Gaborik, and he moved down on a line with Letestu and Anisimov here to start this second period. They finished out period number 1. I'll tell you, it looks good with that line.
Bobrovsky will cover up.
Well, before the Jackets hit the ice, get ready to join the battle on Blue Jackets Live on Fox Sports Ohio. Blue Jackets Live is brought to you by your Central Ohio Toyota dealers. Let's go places. Here's a look at the Kingsville native. We talk about old school defensemen. You mentioned it, Jeff. Reminds me of the Hillman brothers, Larry and Wayne. Steady defensemen, could join in offensively if need be, but one tough character when it comes to the defensive zone and in front of their net.
3 minutes plus gone here. In period number 2, a centering feed there, sent wide by McGrattan. Shot to the point, juggled, and will be held by Bobrovsky.
Fox Sports 1 is available on all TV providers. You can go to foxsports1.com to find out what channel Fox Sports 1 is on in your area. And there's a look. Good luck. Nikita Nikitin. Back, healthy, ready to go, paired up with Dalton Trout. This guy, again, will be called upon. Power play, killing penalties. One of the heaviest shots on this hockey team. And he can get it off. If he can hit the net, you know something's going to happen for number 6.
Well, as we get a look here at the Flames bench, this is going to be tough sledding for this hockey club. They've lost their captain, Jerome McGinley, their franchise goaltender to retired it, Mika Kiprasov, and their top defenseman traded at the deadline, Jay Bouwmeester. This is not the same hockey club for Bob Hartley, who is coaching in his 11th NHL season at all.
Well, and they've added another guy that's certainly going to be an integral part of this organization, and that, again, Brian Burke, president of hockey operations.
Brody with a shot, ricochets wide on the deflection. Colburn plays it off the wall, on to Glencross. Outlet pass knocked down by Brody, and he rifles it wide on the wrist shot attempt. Thrown behind the net. Colburn in front there for Glencross, who tried to feed it across the goal mouth. Jackets break up ice. Como with a shot. That has been redirected by Brody. And quickly, in transition. Outlet pass here. Giordano, newly named captain of these Flames, back in mid-September. Ryan Murray joining the rush. Murray across the line, drops it for Gabrick. Back to Murray, back to Gabrick. A pretty give and go, but Gabrick got able to pull the trigger, and away go the Flames once more. Up on that left wing, Wisniewski defends. Goalmouth pass away from Weidman. Jackets chip it up the wall. Ryan Murray, perfect feed. Ryan Johansson looks. Johansson trying to walk around Chris Russell. Johansson with a backhand feed. Gagliardi able to pick that one off. Gagliardi looking for Backlund. Stepping up there is R.J. Umberger. Umberger wins the battle along the wall. Russell trying to hold him in check. Umberger now onto Foligno. Nick Foligno from the right wing. Foligno hangs onto that puck, drops it back for Wisniewski. On to Ryan Murray in the slot. A shot. The stop by McDonald, and he covers up on the rebound.
Great work by the Jackets. They get into that offensive zone, and they do a beautiful job of not only good puck movement, but then positioning where they're able to finish it off and force McDonald to make the play. Utilizing the defense. Look at the pass. D to D through the seam. And there's one opportunity. And then let's go back earlier. Gabrick has a good opportunity, but look at the pass right there. Ryan Murray coming from his defensive position, moving up ice, and this is where he is at his best to create offense. That puck just going off the defenseman's stick where Gabrick's in all alone.
Boys, well beyond his age of 20, as you get a look there at Marian Gaborik. And Gaborik with a little extra jump here tonight as well. Calvert. Below that goal line. Calvert squeezed out along the wall. Yet another line mate for Anisimov and Letestu. The previous shift, it was Jenner. And play called as the linesman was knocked down. No damage done. Actually, that was a referee.
Yeah, Lequier. He goes down, and he's going to be attended to at the boards.
Opening week of hockey is presented by Dairy Queen. We'll have a momentary delay as Lequier has his face shield wiped off. He's fine, smiling. A young NHL official, and he certainly got the worst of that exchange.
He took a pretty good hit, and he was getting a lot of grief from the bench. I think the boys were giving it to him pretty good.
Got to get out of the way.
He's a tall timber, too.
Here's Stepniak across the line. Trout got a stick on it to redirect it to the corner. Now in pursuit. As it's dumped behind. Berchi to the point. O'Brien floats one in. That's wide. Bobrovsky never saw it till the last moment as it sailed wide of the net. Matt Calvert down the left wing to center. He's got Anisimov with him. Calvert chips it ahead, trying to fight through and away from O'Brien. Berchi backhands ahead, right side. That's Stepniak. Jack Johnson on to Mark Letestu. No matter what rule he's given, excels. Shot by Calvert, fought off by McDonald, steered to the corner as we approach the 6-minute mark of the second period, almost scoring in the first. Flames twice with a lead. The Jackets bouncing back twice. It's 2-2 with the Jackets leading in shots on goal at 19-13. 13:59 left second period from Nationwide opening night. Tie. 2-2 the score. 13:59 remaining here in the second period. Well, much discussion since midway last season about realignment. And there you take a look at the Pacific Division. The Calgary Flames in top.
Well, the Western Conference, 7-team divisions. And again, it only makes sense. Time zones, the travels. You get teams now being able to play against each other. And there's the Metropolitan where the Jackets, they'll get a chance to play. And, well, it starts tonight on the road. Off after the game to the New York Islanders.
Interesting enough, the Jackets open up against one of their former Western Conference rivals, the Calgary Flames. And we've seen a lot of that here in the first week of the NHL season. And the good thing about realignment, every team will be in every building. The fans across the National Hockey League will get a chance to see every team at least once, home and away.
Those rivalries, they can be developed. Close proximity.
Bouncing puck. Benner's on. Jenner. On to McKenzie. Right back to Jenner. And he couldn't pull the trigger on that bouncing puck. Weidman. Across the line. Knocks the stick out of the hands of Cam Atkinson. Puck failed to clear the zone. Now it has, so Atkinson will race off to the bench. And he is healthy after a season in which he had to fight off that ankle sprain, high ankle sprain, and played that way for the entire year.
Well, in chatting with him, he does. He feels he's 100%, and he's looking forward to a great year.
Gabrick speeds down the right wing, trying to throw it in front. Dubinsky out there with Como and Gabrick. Switching to the deck here. As Todd Richards looks for that go-ahead goal. Jones in on the wing, and a nice defensive play there by Savard to drop in front of that intended effort. Flames come again. Brody unable to pull the triggers. It goes off the heel of a stick. Dubinsky below the goal line, colliding with his own teammate, Nikitin. Now Nikitin able to chip it to the corner. Como takes the pass from Savard. Hand it to Nikitin, left wing, and Colburn gets a stick on it. Brody will take it from McDonald.
Well, midway through the second period, remember the Flames did play last night in Washington. Mentally, they suffered a tough defeat. Right now, physically, they are prepared to continue on in the back-to-back games.
It's up to the Jackets to keep the pedal to the metal here. Knowing the team did, in fact, play in Washington. Late flight due to the proximity of Dulles Airport in suburban D.C. And now the Jackets have their legs after the last 8 nights. Pretty well sitting at home after the preseason schedule ended.
That's where the 4 lines come in. Key number 3 tonight, utilize the 4 lines.
Ryan Johansson out there now with Foligno and Umberger. And this line, no strangers to one another, playing a majority of the season together last year. As the deck continues to be shuffled here in an effort to get the go-ahead goal. We're approaching the midway point of period number 2. Stempniak able to steer it into the zone. Stempniak fires from a sharp angle, kick save, and a beauty. Bobrovsky showing those lightning-fast reflexes there, and he hears it from the crowd. Jackets win a battle in the corner, the centering feed by none other than the youngster defenseman who was in deep. He made the play, but the Jackets unable to convert.
Well, you talk about that big save by Bobrovsky, but then how quick did the Jackets get up ice and then back the other way? This game right now starting to open up.
Calvert offside.
We'll see the Blue Jackets take on the Boston Bruins. That's Saturday, October the 12th, 2 o'clock game with a Dispatch Family Value Pack. It includes a game ticket, hot dog, Pepsi, popcorn, Cold Stone Creamery ice cream voucher, and more, starting at just $30 per person. Get your tickets now at BlueJackets.com.
Jackets led by the Vezina Trophy winning goaltender Bobrovsky. Jenner out there again with McKenzie and Atkinson. And we are seeing wholesale changes from Coach Todd Richards right now. An effort to get something going offensively. It's not from a lack of chances. Nikitin with a drive, and that one is blocked. Street steps in front of it. McKenzie. Boone Jenner fights off the check and draws a penalty along the way. When we come back, the Jackets will go back to the power play. They are 1 for 2. Is the go-ahead goal around the corner.
Blue Jackets go on the power play. Danny, I know you guys are shaking things up a little bit now, trying to get a little offense going.
Yeah, you know what, every time we get pucks behind the net, we're having some decent success. You know, you want to make teams have to look out from behind there, and it makes it tough on the goalie. So as long as we're getting momentum that way, we draw a penalty, hopefully our power play can cash in.
Dan, thank you. Guys?
It's being hard to play against, and that's where Boone Jenner drew that penalty. Good work protecting the puck. The end result, Jackets go on their 3rd power play of the night.
They're 1 for 2. Blue Jackets did not get a shot on the previous power play after scoring on their only shot on their first attempt. Jack Johnson finding the back of the net. And here the puck turned over by Wisniewski. Backlund steps in, and Wisniewski recovers enough to steer it off into the corner. Again, an uncharacteristic giveaway by the Jackets, who had the fewest in the league last season.
That was the scouting report on Backlund. He is one guy that'll look one way, and right there he fooled James Wisniewski. Wisniewski turning the puck over.
Here is Anisimov, throws it right across the goal crease, and the Flames move up ice, shorthanded. It's Stepniak racing into the zone. Gaborik in pursuit. Stepniak deals Weidman with a shot, and I believe Wisniewski got just enough of it to send it wide. Anisimov trying to play that bouncing puck. Gaborik waits at center. Marian Gaborik. Broken up. Atkinson, Anisimov. Gaborik, Anisimov. Atkinson was right there on the doorstep, but unable to redirect. Bouncing puck. Moved into the slot. Now at the point, Letestu. Jack Johnson. Letestu looks to that right wing. 45 seconds left on the power play. Letestu walks the line onto Jack Johnson, and Anisimov sets the big screen in front of McDonald. Here's Johnson. Fires. Anisimov got a stick on it. McDonald similarly able to steer that one aside. Up high. Letestu drills it. Jones steps in front of it, and the Flames have cleared.
Well, two good passes by the Jackets, and then you have net front presence with the big body with Anisimov. McDonald having to come up with 1-2 saves.
Dubinsky deals. Johansson fights off the Brody check. Pulled down. Crowd looking for a call to be made. The penalty over. Street steps back on. Flames at full strength, and the puck shoveled up onto the Columbus bench.
Well, there's a look at Dubinsky. Again, centering tonight. The start of this game, Boone Jenner, Marian Gaborik. Dubinsky, probably a thrill of his lifetime tonight. He is a member at Muirfield Village, the house that Jack built. He took that inaugural face-off to start off this season with the President's Cup going on. Dubinsky, pretty fine golfer himself, spotting a 8 handicap.
Less than 8 minutes left. Second period, a scoreless second. All the scoring, if you joined us late, coming in that opening period. Flames twice with the leads. Jackets fighting back to tie it up. Calgary losing in a shootout. Their season opener in Washington last night, despite 3-0 and 4-1 leads. Here's Dubinsky. Drop pass, moving up. Savard, the puck turned over. Berchi. Over to play it. Monahan to open the scoring at 2:27. The 18-year-old youngster. Former Ottawa 67. Shot there by Giordano. Giordano turned away, and this is Wisniewski. Or excuse me, McKenzie. Carrying into the zone. McKenzie with a shot. That one is gloved and held by McDonald. 6:48 left. Derek McKenzie gives it all he has each and every shift.
He does that each and every shift. Well, hey, fans, join the battle from everywhere with the new Blue Jackets mobile app, getting breaking news, highlights, alerts, and follow every game with live shift changes, stats, and more. Plus, enter to win 2 Lexus Glass seats. Download now on App Store, Google Play, or text CBJ app to 90561.
From the draw, Flames play it below that goal line. Outlet pass on the right wing. And play called on the offside.
I know last night Bob Hartley certainly was not happy with that hockey game. His team played very well, but 2 absolutely unnecessary penalties. He said in that offensive zone by 2 veterans that know basically better in that scenario. One of them, well, it ends up drawing a power play. Ovechkin finds the back of the net, and the rest is history. They lost in a shootout.
Proud Gary playing deep in the zone, and then a thundering check behind the Calgary net. Chris Russell in pursuit. Como right there. He'll finish his check. Nice play by Jack Johnson to keep it in. Knocked down by Weidman on the attempted steer in front. Shot from the wing. Bobrovsky to stop. 6:12 left.
Well, after every Blue Jackets game, Fox Sports Ohio. They break down the game and talk to the players and the coaches on Blue Jackets Live, presented by IGS Energy. IGS Energy. Take control of your natural gas and electricity costs and enroll today at IGSenergy.com. Well, there's a look at Lee Stempniak. He is one of 3 players on this roster, if you can imagine, coming out of the small college, Dartmouth. Very fine student. He was a multi-purpose athlete. Certainly has found a home here. Patrolling the right wing, knows where the net is, got a great release and a big body.
Here's Matt Calvert into Calgary territory. Fights off the check of Brody. Calvert able to steer it clear. Giordano in pursuit. Wisniewski on to Ryan Murray. Back here for Wisniewski. Wisniewski poised, ready to shoot. Dishes. Back from Murray to Wisniewski. Calvert a little hesitant to take that shot. As a result, Calgary able to break it up with the second effort by Calvert, and he steers it back into the corner. Great work by the youngster.
Well, Calvert, he read that situation well. He got himself high enough to be an option to the defenseman, and then got the puck deep, where again it looked like the Jackets were going to turn the puck over once more.
Wisniewski off the net. Lecheski, Wisniewski, both teams change up on the fly as we approach the 15-minute mark. Now the middle stanza. Yuri Hudler at center. Puts the brakes on. Now will carry across the line. Weidman joining the rush. Left wing feed for Backlund. Chip below the goal line. Nikitin unable to clear. Weidman, the shot. Quickly steered to the corner. Heads up play there by Savard. Little caretaking in front of Bobrovsky. Nikitin head up. Hits Gabrick at the line. On to Dubinsky with Como. Como, top of the circle, shot blocked by Weidman. Good shift with the Calgary defender. Stempniak. Had it knocked away. Savard. Nikitin. Nikitin dishes Como in full flight. Turns. Deals to Gabrick. Open ice shot sent over top of the net. Nice. He was looking top shelf glove side.
Nice job by Como to find Gabrick coming into that slot area.
Gabrick threw it in front. Flames defend. Weidman, long shift. He'll now head off. Stempniak pulls the trigger, but misses the mark. Fairchild had it taken away by Jack Johnson. Flames come up with it. An attempted chip off the wall. Prout defending. R.J. Umberger from center. Avoids a hit there from Brody in pursuit deep. Fairchild drilled by R.J. Umberger. Umberger playing a physical game here tonight.
That's what you like to see from number 18. Yeah, he could play linebacker as a football player, but here you put him on ice, he can fly.
Quick shot, Monahan. Jackets block that. Johansson avoids a hit. Steers ahead for Foligno. Nick Foligno back to Johansson. He, Umberger, and Foligno cross the line. Foligno puts the brakes on. Tries to feed Umberger. But Stempniak had it briefly, and it will be Johansson with that long reach. Comes out of the corner. Hands it to Murray. Foligno hustles after it. Finishes a check on Giordano. Stempniak able to clear. 3:20 left and a scoreless second period.
And that's where the game's going to be won or lost. You get that puck deep below the goal line. You heard Dan Heino talk about it. Get it back there, protect the puck, and wear down the defense. It'll pay dividends come period number 3.
Murray steers ahead. Brody holds off Atkinson. McKenzie finishes a check. Jackets moving high and out. Boone Jenner in full stride. Atkinson drop pass moving in. Ryan Murray, and it's knocked away.
That's one thing the Jackets have to do a better job. Stronger on the stick. How many times tonight? Killing penalties, power play. That stick has to prevail with the strength of the body.
Colburn. McGrattan. Left wing for Glencross. Savard back defended. Nikitin away from Colburn. Lecheski had it knocked away. Glencross on to Jones. Back for Glencross. And he steers it wide. He'll pick it right back up below the goal line. Jackets defend in front. Good defensive play there by Nikitin. Jackets on the outlet pass for Anisimov. The pass was behind him. Here's Glencross now. At the line goes off Jones. Quick feed. Calvert. The speedy winger pulls up right circle. Calvert waits. Prout will let it go. And it's blocked as Anisimov stepped in front of that shot. That one hurt. He took that one off the instep. 1:44 left. Weidman in full stride out of the wing. A shot sails high and wide of the Jackets' net. Left wing looking for Calvert. Knocked away. Prout. Paired with Jack Johnson. Como with Johansson. Como, right-handed shot on the off wing. Dealt to Jack Johnson. Off the heel of his stick, deflected wide. Yuri Hudler steps away from Johansson. Como is there, but it's Weidman to play. A little more than a minute left here. And a scoreless second period. Drop feed. Moving in. Backlund denied. The stop made by Bobrovsky. More on Bobrovsky when we come back. Now, you folks are well aware of the debut here recently of Fox Sports 1. And how about Fox Sports Live, the nightly highlight show hosted by Jay Onrait and Dan O'Toole. Well, Jay is one of the biggest fans of Sergei Bobrovsky. In fact, you can see it on YouTube and his calls of Bobrovsky's play. Jay tonight has tweeted me, and I'll read the tweet for you. Watching you call the game with my boy, Sergei Bobrovsky. Have a great season. They're Blue Jacket fans at Fox Sports, at Fox Sports 1 with Fox Sports Live, your nightly highlight show. And yes, they pay particular attention to the National Hockey League with highlights across the league each and every night.
Well, and he's one guy that you certainly can't be ashamed of following. I'll tell you, Bobrovsky off to a pretty good start here tonight. Guys in front of him, well, they've got a minute and 6 seconds left. Face-off win has to be in the cards. But Bob has been constant all year long. Preseason looked good. And off to a good start, as we say, here this evening.
One more point. Jay and Dan are tremendously talented and entertaining, to say the least. You can catch their highlights on Fox Sports 1 and Fox Sports Live each night at 11. All rights to this broadcast are reserved, and any rebroadcast, recording, retransmission, or other use of the broadcast without the express written consent of the Columbus Blue Jackets is expressly prohibited. Did you hear that, Jay?
Jackets 63% in the face-off department. Dubinsky loses just his 5th face-off of the night.
Final minute of play here in a scoreless second period. Jackets finish their check along the wall. Dubinsky shot from a sharp angle. Backlund denied. Puck batted away by Bobrovsky. Right side. That's Gabrick. Marian Gabrick, a goal and an assist. Dubinsky moves into position and rifles it just wide of the net. It may have been deflected off a flame stick. Less than 30 left. Gabrick. Dubinsky and Como attempting to get that go-ahead goal here in the waning seconds. Dubinsky finishing his check. I want to talk about a culture change and learning how to play. Dubinsky certainly providing that leadership since first putting on the Blue Jackets uniform. Como ridden off. Final seconds. Gagliardi now stepping up as Dubinsky. And there's the horn to end the second period. Shots through 40 minutes of play as the players are ushered off the ice. 21-19, favoring the Jackets. But after 40 minutes, here at Nationwide, we're tied at 2. And the Blue Jackets back on the ice for third period play. Again, the switch of the ends. Jackets set for the face-off. It will be Dubinsky and Colburn for the draw. Colburn, Calgary native, making his Flames debut after being traded for a draft pick from Toronto back in September. And Dubinsky cleanly wins the draw. The Jackets have had a decided edge in that regard. More on that a little bit later. Long lead pass across the line. Glencross to the trailer. Brody with a head fake away from Como. Below that goal line now. The defenseman Brody held in check by Como. Jack Johnson in to help out. The battle continues. Now Prout joins in. Glencross comes up with it, sends it to the point. Giordano unable to keep it in. The Calgary captain backpedals into his own zone before finding Brody. Drop pass for Colburn. Set around the dasher. Brody handing to Hudler. His pocket pick. Long lead pass by Prout for Calvert. Swept into the zone. Calvert trying to steer it by Weidman. Letestu right there to help out. Shots favor the Jackets. 21-19 after 40 minutes. Calvert in front. Anisimov denied. Russell stepping in front to make the defensive play. Savard able to keep it in. Awfully close to being offside. The second effort, Flames sweep it out. Kudler waits. Kudler fires high and wide of the net. Weidman in off the point. Savard out of the zone. He'll backhand it deep into Calgary territory, and the Jackets and the Flames change up.
Yeah, you're going to see the line matchups right now. The Jackets have the last change, and that has to be on Todd Richards' mind. Being able to take a look exactly who's coming over the boards. Players have to be aware as well.
Off the point. Butler. Nick Foligno. Hands to Nikitin. Trying to feed Johansson. Puck sails into the zone. Butler pressured by Foligno. Johansson kicks it free. Foligno around the net. Into the slot looking for Umberger. Up high, Ryan Murray. McDonald's got it. No further play. And O'Brien and Umberger have to be separated. Columbus Blue Jackets hockey on Fox Sports Ohio, brought to you by Ticketmaster. Score! Get the only NHL tickets sold by fans and verified by Ticketmaster. It's all hockey, no hassle. Right now at NHL.com/ticket exchange. And by Roush Honda. For the best deals on new wheels, it's Roush Honda.
Well, looks like coincidental minor penalties. O'Brien going to the penalty box. Foligno, he goes to the penalty box, but it was O'Brien and Umberger that really had the argument. Foligno did a nice job in getting able to get in, take the body on O'Brien right away. There's the end result. You can see O'Brien, Umberger, he backs off.
So we're looking now at 4-on-4 hockey. Dubinsky, Gabrick up front. Ryan Murray and Wisniewski paired on the point. A little more open ice. Jackets will try to use that to their advantage, but it's the Flames that move up ice. And it's Backlund firing off the blocker of Bobrovsky. Wisniewski, pressure, fights it off. Backlund had an arm around him. Puck swept ahead, Giordano dishing. Pass too far for Hudler. Gabrick hits Dubinsky. Across the line, Dubinsky. Trying to move around Brody. Played in the corner by Backlund. And chipped behind the net for Giordano. Approaching the 3-minute mark of period number 3. Glad you've joined us here on Fox Sports Ohio. Opening night for the Jackets. We'll be right back at it tomorrow night on Long Island. It's all the action at 80 of the Jackets' 82 games here on your home for Blue Jackets hockey. Fox Sports Ohio. Russell. Dalton Trout for Jack Johnson on the far side. Left wing, full stride. Anisimov with Cam Atkinson broken up by Gagliardi, who had the second of the 2 Calgary goals in that opening period. Monahan the other. Jack Johnson on the power play and Gabrick have scored for Columbus.
Well, you can see both teams right now having a tough time making passes. The puck is bouncing everywhere. The nerves, well, that's over now. They're in a hockey game. They'll find a way to be able to get that puck up ice, as well as try to free up a forward or defenseman coming across that line.
Johnson for Calvert, sent towards the net, off his stick and wide. Flames put back to their captain, Giordano. 4 minutes gone. Again, the Flames led 3-0 and 4-1. Went to a shootout. Unable to decide the game in 4-on-4 overtime. Savard loses the puck to Jones. Weidman had his pocket pick. Here come the Jackets. Foligno out of the box. Shot sent wide off the stick of Calvert. Savard in deep. David Savard. Gets it ahead to Foligno. Nick Foligno for Calvert. Mark Letestu. Calvert settles that bouncing puck down. Hits Foligno. Foligno, by his own admission, not the preseason he wanted. He'd like to get the Jackets ahead here. And will do all he can. Foligno had it chopped away by Weidman. Carried in by Backlund. Wristed high and wide. Hudler. Berchi Stood up by Nikitin. Berchi gave away some size there. 5 minutes plus now. Out here in the third. Backlund, former first-round pick of these Flames. Hoodler got a stick on it, but deflected it wide. Como unable to clear. Flames on the forecheck. Nikitin on for Suvar. This line's been out there for some time. Jackets move out of the zone. The defensive pairings will be switched up. And now Foligno dumps deep, and he too heads to the bench.
Well, the Jackets did a nice job. Good patience on that breakout. The Calgary Flames right now utilizing their speed. They are forechecking. They're pinching their D. Jackets have to take advantage, especially along the wall.
Here's Como. Wisniewski floats one in off the stick of McDonald as it was redirected by Umberger. McDonald got enough of it to send it wide. Well, let's check out tonight's 4-game summary to this point in time. Bill.
Well, face-offs, again, that really stands tall, and especially late in the period. The Jackets won a couple of good face-offs. Gaborik, Johnson, they are the standouts, and the hits pretty well even. And in the meantime, well, the Jackets are going to be on the penalty kill. Ryan Johansson, a hooking penalty in the offensive zone. And let's take a look. The big body, and you can see him. Nice job getting the stick inside, but the official says it was in there just a little too long, parallel to the ice, and disrupted the play of the Calgary player.
5:50 the time of the penalty. Incidentally, talking about face-offs, Jackets win, as you saw, 62% of the draws. Last night, Calgary won only 29 of 75 face-offs, 39%. Tonight, the Flames through 2 periods are 38%. That's certainly something Bob Hartley hopes to improve for his hockey club. But right now, the Flames and the Jackets are tied with Calgary on the power play. And the Jackets needing a big kill here. Jack Johnson draped all over Curtis Glencross. Paired with Dalton Prout. McKenzie and Dubinsky, the penalty killers, and they'll get a well-deserved rest.
Well, the difference in that play, take the body. You square them up, make sure you get the body, eliminate the man from the puck.
Here's Chris Russell. On for Weidman. Weidman led the Flames in preseason scoring with 6 points. 2 of them were goals. Battle won by the Flames deep in Columbus territory. Chris Russell floats one in off the glove of Bobrovsky. Back here for Russell. Russell again with a shot. Savard got enough of it to send it wide of the net and sails back deep into Calgary territory. Less than a minute left on the power play. Weidman, right wing feed. Nikitin defending is Stepniak. Sends it off into the corner. Battle along the near wall. Stepniak leading Calgary 8 shots last night in Washington. Sends it in front. Redirected by Backlund, and the Jackets hammer it down the ice. Less than 30 left.
Well, nice pressure along the wall. Started with Umberger up high, and a nice job by Calvert coming into the slot area to disrupt that backdoor play.
15 seconds remaining, and the Johansson penalty. Backlund, pressure off the wall, off a stick, scramble in front. Shot by the Flames. Bobrovsky losing his goal stick, still able to stop it. Looking to retrieve it as Johansson steps out. Jackets are back at full strength. Flames keep it in the zone. Back with his stick is Bobrovsky, square to the shooter, and the Jackets will move away, and it's Johansson, well rested out of that penalty box. Moves in. Nice pass there, but it's steered away by the Flames. A little toe drag there by Johansson. An attempted pass into the slot.
Well, he had the legs moving, just got out of the penalty box. He was the freshest player on the ice, and yes, tried to force that slot area, but to no avail.
Long lead pass there for Gaborik fails. Flames control. Shots almost dead even. Jackets with a 1-shot advantage, 24-23. Flames now 0 for 2 on the power play. Bobrovsky steers for Prout. Flames have had 4 shots on their 2 power play opportunities. Jackets are 1 for 3. Como. Jack Johnson, Prout, the sellout crowd. Try to encourage the Jackets here. Looking for that go-ahead goal in this one. Off the stick of Como, deflected by Butler. Into the crowd. Opening opening week of hockey presented by Dairy Queen. Well, there was an editorial in today's Columbus Dispatch. No, not in the sports section, but on the editorial page. Here's the headline. Jackets back for more. New talent, hard work, karma point to a great season. And I read now from the Dispatch. Last season's single-point miss at the NHL playoffs was painful. It also served as a lesson to the Jackets that each game early in the season is vital. This team is tenacious. It fights. It keeps fighting to the end. The Jackets have earned a reputation for working hard and working some more. The new season also offers a chance to show players around the league who bolted or who has been traded and who got the better deal. In summation, the franchise finally is under strong management, playing like a team and headed in the right direction. That is an editorial on the editorial page of the Dispatch, not written by Mike A. Race or any other columnist with the sports department. The Jackets certainly have the imagination of Columbus as a whole.
Well, it's recognized that the culture has changed in the city with this hockey team, and it starts from the top.
Letesny as we approach the midway point of the third period. Russell, long lead pass to the offensive blue line. Jackets break that up. Boone Jenner down the right side. His nickname with the Generals in Oshawa, the Generator. Can he generate something now to get the Jackets in front? He's on the ice here with Foligno and Ryan Johansson. Yet another line combination. 9:54 left. Tied at 2 from Nationwide on opening night. Jackets move on to Long Island to take on the New York Islanders tomorrow night. They are currently in New Jersey. And it's time for tonight's AT&T Rewind.
Well, we've got one highlight to show you. Michael Ryder. Well, you know him as a goal scorer. Here's a great example of it. Good quick snapshot from that slot area. At that point, made it a 2-1 game. Right now, it is 3-3.
.954 left from the draw. Stepniak shot blocked by Johansson. He's able to stand it out. And forward steered back in by O'Brien. Shots even at 24. A sellout crowd for this one. Jackets' next home start. Next Saturday night afternoon affair against the defending Eastern Conference champion, Boston Bruins. They lost a heartbreaker in 6 games. The Stanley Cup champion, Chicago Blackhawks. 2 o'clock start. Hope to see you here. R.J. Umberger battling along the wall. Flames able to chip it off the glass and out. Monahan sends it into Columbus territory. Both teams change up. Dubinsky. Off Giordano. At center. Glencross squeezed out by a pair of Blue Jackets. Gabrick, a goal and an assist tonight. Kicks it free to Wisniewski. Dubinsky looks for Gabrick along the wall. Colburn there defending. Originally drafted by the Boston Bruins in the first round. Traded by the Leafs back in September. Seeing his first action in the uniform of the Calgary Flames.
Yeah, 4th round pick. And that's going to be in the 2014 draft, Jeff. And this guy played his college hockey at Denver, and great potential from this young man, and Calgary recognizes it.
He's a Calgary native and quite familiar with the Flames organization even before joining Calgary. Como settles that puck down. It was bouncing, and Backlund feeding Hudler. He scores. Hudler from the left wing circle drills it by Bobrovsky. Calgary lead 3-2.
Again, bouncing pucks. We talked about it in period number 2. Bouncing pucks, turnovers, where you can afford to make a mistake is usually deep. This is not one area of the ice that you can afford to turn the puck over. Como, he loses control of that puck. When that puck goes wide, watch Hudler. Look at the head up, and he lets it go, and he ends up beating Bobrovsky high over top of that glove side to give the Flames a 3-2 lead.
So for the third time tonight, the Flames with the lead. And the Jackets forced to come from behind here with less than 8 minutes left in regulation. Atkinson pushes in. Weidman taking a hit there from McKenzie. Como, Atkinson, shot block. Prout attempting to keep it in. Berchi now for the Flames with a goal mouth pass there, just missing Stepniak. Jackets all here. There's a look at that hybrid icing as we check out tonight's AEP power play summary.
Now look at the Jackets, and that goes back to period number 1. The Jackets were down 1-0. Monahan had scored his first of the season, and then Jack Johnson on a beautiful feed from Gaborik tied it up 1-1. We had a chance to see the Flames 0 for 2.
Giordano floats one in, stopped by Bobrovsky, rebound, scores. Curtis Glencross left all alone on that far side, able to sweep home the rebound off the pads of Bobrovsky, and the Flames lead by 2.
The one thing in your defensive zone, you want to build in front of your goaltender with layers. And let's take a look down in front of Bobrovsky. Everybody looks like they're in pretty good position right here. As it moves across the ice in hopes of maybe getting a stick, you can see backside. Glencross just frees himself up. This is where you've got to have a little bit of help, where maybe Como comes in to help out. But the Jackets, again, leave one guy open. You get a fortuitous bounce. And the end result into the back of the net by the former Blue Jacket, Curtis Glencross, to make it a 4-2 game.
And 2 goals, 42 seconds apart. The Hoodler goal, his second of the season. Glencross gets his first. Curtis Glencross, one player the Jackets determined was a mistake to trade. It came right from management after Glencross was dealt to Edmonton. Ended up in Calgary with the Flames. But certainly provided some offensive prowess for the Jackets. There's Savard with a shot off McDonald. Rebound, Jenner trying to drive it home. Loose puck still. The officials see it. Play allowed to continue, and it's Stepniak who hammers it off the boards and out.
Well, that's the right idea. You better get some traffic in front of McDonald. Still time on the clock in the favor of the Jackets, but down 2 quick goals. Well, right now on FoxSportsOhio.com, how does this year compare to the previous Blue Jacket seasons? We look back at Urban Meyer's biggest win at Bowling Green over Northwestern, and who do you think should be the new manager of the Cincinnati Reds? Get complete coverage of all of today's action involving all Ohio sports right there on FoxSportsOhio.com.
Calgary calling a timeout here, having picked up a point in a shootout loss last night in Washington. Bob Hartley tried to settle things down with the scrambling play around his netminder. Looking for 2 points.
You know, right now, Todd Richards, certainly the momentum has shifted in a span of 42 seconds. That first goal being scored by Hoodler, another turnover. 2 turnover goals given to the Flames here tonight. And then Curtis Glencross, a nice fortuitous bounce on the back door left alone, make it a 4-2 game. Hey, college, high school students, enjoy Blue Jackets hockey with Columbus Blue Jackets Student Rush tickets presented by Papa John's. You can get tickets for the Boston game next Saturday starting at just $15. Each ticket includes a free offer from Papa John's.
Jackets win the draw. Centering feed, looking for Umberger in front. And he finishes a check there on Russell. Johansson reaching for it. Wisniewski in off the point. Umberger pressures. Deep on the forecheck. Comes up with that puck. Chips it back to the point. Ryan Murray unable to control that bouncing puck. Backhanded ahead. Stepniak. Jackets double team. The Calgary forward who fights through the check and gets it back to the point. Berchi with Dubinsky. attempting to make a move. Right now, Calgary having it their way. Flames winning those battles along the wall.
Well, knowing that they played last night, Bob Hartley, and that's why he did take the time out earlier on, get the troops settled down. It is a simple game. You have the puck, they don't, and right now they're stretching the ice.
Long lead pass in full flight. Marian Gaborik. Gaborik, Como denied. A stop there by McDonald. Street for Glenn Cross. Puck gets away from him. Jackets dump it deep. And play called on the icing.
Columbus Blue Jackets hockey brought to you by Nationwide Insurance, the official insurance provider of your Columbus Blue Jackets. Nationwide is on your side. Now there's a look at Jack Johnson. That thing started 5:57 with a power play goal, first goal of the year for the Jackets. And since then, the Jackets really have not been able to find much in front of Joey McDonald to say that they have created much offense.
Goodler with that go-ahead goal, followed up by the Glenn Cross tally. The Flames lead by 2, 4:40 left. Dalton Prout on for Gaborik, gets just by him. Prout now. As the puck is kicked ahead, Backlund. Weidman. Dennis Weidman back for Backlund. Looking to pull the trigger. Lost the puck on the turnover. Jackets carry it up ice. And it's Mark Letestu. Letestu looks. Jack Johnson. Shot from the wing. Deflected wide. Off the backboard. Scores! Jackets again showing that resiliency. And it's Anisimov. Bringing the Jackets back to within 1.
Well, something you cannot teach, and that is size. And here the Jackets come in on the rush, a little D to D. When that shot is taken, look at where Anisimov is, and then look at the reach that he has. He has the defenseman draped all over top of him. Giordano has him in great shape, but Anisimov, we talked about being strong on the stick. There's an example, and that's one you can take to the bank. Great effort by number 42.
So, the Jackets are back to within 1. A little more than 4 minutes left. Third period, regulation time. And the crowd back to life here. The Flames had taken them out of the hockey game here earlier on. The Jackets on the prowl for that tying goal. And it's Anisimov sending it towards the net. As McDonald holds on. 3:53 left. We'll be right back.
Off, and I'll tell you what, an individual effort by number 42. But let's go back and take a look at how he does make this goal and stuffing it in fine fashion. A year ago, this could not happen. There's a look off of the pad and into the back of the net, and look at the shorter radius on the left side. 4 inches. 4 inches, and you can see right there that there's a little bit of movement from behind the net. We call that Gretzky's office. A lot can be done, and 42 showed it how it was to make it a 4-3 game.
Puck unfairly dropped. They'll do it all over again. Yes, the great one, certainly. Enjoyed many a night dishing the puck from behind that net. And certainly with the smaller nets in depth, why, there can be some playmaking ability, but in this case, it was the bouncing puck off the backboard and the great work by Anisimov with that long reach, as Billy had indicated. Listen to this crowd, a quick shot there by Letestu, turned aside. Anisimov dumping it in. Calvert right there with Letestu and Anisimov. They'll now change up. On comes Dubinsky. Como and Gaborik. Gaborik with a pair of points, a goal and an assist. Dubinsky. Gaborik. Gaborik wide. Gaborik fires. Rebound. Dubinsky tried to tuck it home. And McDonald got just enough of it. Dubinsky not giving up. Gets back on his feet. Some help now from Como. Como fights off the check. Tried to refeed. Dubinsky. Gaborik is there as well behind the net. Gagliardi's got it. Lifts it up and out. Gagliardi with a goal and an assist tonight. Long lead pass. Knocked down. Right wing feed. Monahan goes to the net. Bobrovsky, big rebound there. Stepniak hammers it behind the net. Wisniewski there for Columbus. Monahan on the forecheck. Here's Jack Johnson. Time of the essence here. 2.5 minutes left.
The Jackets looking for that line change. That line come out. Dubinsky, Gaborik. And nice play by Dubinsky to be able to get that puck to Gaborik. Center drive. Jackets have to replicate that effort.
Long lead pass here for Atkinson. Atkinson pulls the trigger and sends it wide from a sharp angle. Missing the mark there was Umberger. Jack Johnson. McKenzie. Atkinson. Wristed wide. Weidman in pursuit. Umberger steps into him. McKenzie unable to keep it in at the point. Not from a lack of effort, though. Here's Murray for Atkinson. Steers it behind the net. Less than 2 minutes left. Backhanded by Street. Hoodler for Glencross, who right now, his goal, the difference in the hockey game. Butler. From the blue line. Pass for Hoodler fails. Ryan Murray. Long lead pass and a dandy. Anisimov comes in, puts the brakes on. Couldn't control that rolling puck. Murray unable to keep it in despite the hustle at the point. And icing. The call against Calgary. Well, we have a moment. Our big lots, big play.
Well, you go down, and again, this is the fourth goal of the hockey game. Curtis Glencross, one-time Columbus Blue Jackets. He finds himself on the back door, left all alone, and into the back of the net to make it, at that point, a 2-goal lead.
And that was just 42 seconds after the Hoodler goal had given Calgary a 3-2 lead. A look at Curtis Glencross. We get a moment here as the Jackets have called a timeout.
Well, it comes back to starting it off, winning that face-off. And you'll have to take a look to see exactly where Bobrovsky will be. He's right to the bench. He should be right to the bench. In the face-off department, the Jackets, again, over 60% in this hockey game. You can see guys like Dubinsky's having one heck of a night. He is 10-5. You can bet number 17 will be in the picture. The big body of Anisimov, will he stay on the ice? No, he's going off. I'll tell you what, that goal by Anisimov, take note, the big man is primed for a big year. That for this hockey team, minute and 22 seconds to go in this game, this would be something to be able to tie this game up, get the crowd involved, and build on the confidence.
Letestu took the draw, and with the net empty, Backlund wins it. Jackets attempt to keep it in, but it's Hoodler on the backhand. Now a race for the puck, and Jack Johnson gets there. There's going to be a penalty here for interference. Jack Johnson. Calgary arguing for a penalty shot here. Captain Giordano arguing here, but an interference penalty to Jack Johnson.
Number 7, Columbus, with in front.
Well, let's take a look. Who's ahead at this point? Jack Johnson. He gets himself into position. They feel, again, Jack Johnson took away the ice. I see in that position right now, Jack Johnson lowers himself. Yes, he could have touched the puck, but he protects the puck. And in that situation, they say it is an interference call. I thought it was great body position by Jack. Maybe the shoulder, well, it did dip into the Calgary player, but tell you what, you can hear the fans. To touch the puck, there'll be no call. The referee says made no attempt at the puck, went after the body, thus an interference call.
Flames are 0 for 2 with 4 shots on their previous power play attempts. There's a drive, and Bobrovsky is able to send it wide. Jones up high here for Brody, paired with Giordano. Right circle, fanning on the attempted shot was Jones. Glencross behind the net. Nikitin defending right now with less than a minute to go. The Flames looking to play keep away. And preventing the Jackets from moving up ice. Dubinsky had it briefly. Calgary get it back. Jones in front, Glencross, and it's off the glove. A catching bit of Bobrovsky. Jackets unable to clear the zone. That's Street with it now for Glencross. Final seconds ticking off the clock. Anisimov finally able to get it out. Bobrovsky looking to make his way to the net. or to the bench from the net. Final 10 seconds. Wisniewski, long lead pass for Gabrick. McDonald steers to Weidman. This crowd letting the officials know how they feel about that last call, but the Flames hold on. Opening night, the Jackets fall to Calgary 4-3. McDonald improves his record against the Blue Jackets to 6-1-1. A 4-3 Flames win. The Jackets move on to Long Island. 4-3 the final. Jackets outshoot Calgary 32-30, but fall short.